Welcome Tento's family and welcome new subscribers. Yo, it's your boy Tony and you already know the deal. Yo, subscribe to the Tento's channel. We offer an escape of reality and yo, all we got is lit entertainment and content over here. Yo, today we have such a crazy video. And my boy Daniel sent me this the other day, right? And he was like, "Hey bro, I think you'd be interested in something like this." And I really was, to be honest with you. This is a crazy one. So this video, right? I haven't watched into it, so this is the first time we're gonna be watching it together and reacting to it together. But long story short, right? This lady lives by a data center by I guess one of Mark Zuckerberg's data centers, right? And she only lives 400, I believe, 400 yards away from it. And this lady goes through a lot. And from what I've heard, this is bad. And it just shows you how much the United States doesn't care about people who aren't millionaires or who aren't rich. And to be honest with you, the system is very much against us. That's how I feel, and I believe that. This is just speculation and theory, but facts. You know what I mean? And I have to say that because of YouTube purposes. You know what I mean? But yo, let's get into this lady's life and let's see what she's going through. Let's just know that this is sad and let's get to it.
This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage.
All right, let
Those
me
are the
pause it
things
right there. Right, guys. Already off the bat, the video hasn't even gotten to 12 seconds of it, and it's already showing her water pressure looks like. She has to store water because you know data centers, right? In order for data centers to be cooled down, they need large amounts of water, right? And what they do with that water is they create a type of vapor. And after they evaporate the water, they use that mist to cool the machines down. That's kind of how it works, right? But that water, it takes up gallons and gallons and gallons just to retrieve, receive, send, you know, store, make copies of data. All of this is taking water because it needs to cool the systems down. And these are massive, massive data centers, guys. Y'all know Mark Zuckerberg. You know what I mean? The Zuck. He got a lot of data centers. And not only that, they're huge. These data centers are giant facilities of just data centers and just computers and just hard drives and what have you. You know, I don't really know what all goes into a data center, but you guys can get the gist of it. Let's get to it.
you have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center.
Ugh.
Wow, and that's just from the
Okay, let
water
me pause it
coming
right
in.
there. Guys, that's in her water. That's in this lady's water. Look at the settlement from the data center. That's in her water, guys. That's gross. Let's get to it.
Yeah. And this is what's in all the pipes.
Just the well itself is probably 20,000, and that's not counting any of the
All the
faucets.
replacement
Yeah.
of the fixtures and
That's
faucets
just
and
the way-
toilets.
That's a
and
lot.
the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge
Look at how huge that
wall
is.
that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
I'm here in Mansfield, Georgia, driving by Meta's new 2 million
Georgia.
square foot data center facility. Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT and other AI tools that are becoming integrated into our daily life.
All right, let me
Data
pause it right there,
centers.
right, guys? That's a huge data center if you guys just looked at that, right? Now, what he's explaining here is also how water is wasted from the use of AI, right? And now imagine, right? That's Mark Zuckerberg's facility. That's his data center. Now, guys, keep in account that there's Mark Zuckerberg, right? There's Elon Musk, guys. There's Jeff Bezos, guys, and that's not even including everybody who's like on the, you know, I wouldn't say secondhand or offhand, but everybody who's like on the other side, like Nvidia or all those smaller companies who also use AI that use a lot of water. It's not just Mark Zuckerberg. It's more than like 10 people that have massive data centers that are gathering all the water resources just to cool down a machine, just so you and I can make a fucking picture. That's crazy work, right? Let's get to it.
It's going to be a very hot item.
This entire supercomputer is built to power Grok.
This is bad,
we see
guys.
data centers as the most exciting asset class.
Meta is building a 2 gigawatt plus data center that is so large it would cover a significant part
Gigawatt.
of Manhattan.
But data centers come with big costs.
This is bad,
From light
guys.
and noise pollution to the environmental impacts to the potential rising costs of energy bills. These facilities put extraordinary demand on the power grid and require entirely new infrastructure.
Oh my God.
They should be responsible for that.
What the
not
hell?
us.
Search the internet for profits that Meta has
That's
made,
very true.
Amazon, Microsoft. They can afford to pay for their own generation.
We came to Georgia to ask two questions. What's the true cost of the AI revolution? And who should be paying
Trillions.
for it?
Your house is here, and the data center's right there.
It's less than 400 yards.
That's
Beverly and Jeff
crazy.
Morris bought their home an hour's drive from downtown Atlanta in 2016. But their roots in the community run much deeper.
Being in the country has always just been my peace and my therapy. When we found this place, we
Horsey.
decided that this was it.
I love
It was
horses,
perfect.
guys.
I was actually raised probably 5
Oh, you know
miles
what? Hey,
away.
let me pause it right there. I know this is off topic, right, and irrelevant, but I love horses. So when I used to have substance, like really, really heavy substance abuse, right, I went into a rehabilitation center, and on Fridays we would go to something called Equine, and basically it was therapy with horses. You know, we got to clean the horses. You know, half the time we were shoveling shit, and you know what? That's a scam because we're basically cleaning up y'all farms for free. You know what I mean? That's whack. But anyways, so with the horses, right? Horses, they have high vibrations, emotions. They feel everything. Horses can tell when you're upset. When like horses are smart guys. Horses are very beautiful creatures. That's sad that these horses have to be living in this situation. Let's get to it.
Felt like coming home.
The data center that's now the Morris's next door neighbor happens to be owned by Meta, the company you know for Facebook and Instagram, but has also been breaking
And on
into
TikTok.
artificial intelligence. They started construction on this data center campus in 2018.
Definitely changed everything. They destroyed the environment, taking down all the trees across
Correct.
the road.
Beautiful pines, beautiful forest.
The light pollution is
We don't have to have a night light in the house. You can walk around the house at night and see everything. It's that bright.
Damn, that's amazing, but also
this is
annoying.
a video of the
Let me
dust
pause it right
from
there.
fa-
And amazing as in like the lengths people would go to, you know, just to set something up to someone else's detriment. That's crazy, guys. Let's get to it.
Facebook where the construction was. What it looks like right now out my front door. The wind blowing in all of this stuff from across the construction, across the road.
This is all from Meta.
Yeah, I was standing on my front porch. I think eventually that affected our well water. We're on a well here, and we started having issues with our well in 2018. I have to replace the hot water heater. I've replaced 2 washing machines and a dishwasher because of
Look
the
at that,
sediment
guys.
coming
That's
in.
nasty
A
work.
lot of what the Morrises are
Crazy
facing
work.
is from the polluting effects of this massive construction. But that's only one part of the story. There are serious costs to communities once data centers are
And let me pause it
operational
right there,
too.
guys. That's only one part of the story, and that's only one part of the world, guys. Yo, this is alarming. Yo, share this video, guys. Get it out. This is something that's big. Let's get to it.
To explain that, we have to back up for a second. I wouldn't blame you if you were asking yourself, what the heck is a data center anyway? Their origins date back to early, clunky supercomputers or mainframes in the 1950s and 60s. And then in the 90s, with the birth of the
Yep,
internet,
computers.
the modern data center was born as a way for internet providers to connect businesses and the world to the web. In the 2010s, data centers became larger as they became critical to new cloud storage.
To the cloud. With the cloud, we share a sync folder that allows us to all work on the same documents.
Everything from your pet photos to entire workplaces to files for video streaming, like this video you're watching right now. We're in the cloud. Today, we are in the midst
True.
of a tectonic shift in processing needs, as large as the birth of the internet.
artificial intelligence.
A transformational moment for data center demand.
But the thing is, AI processing demands are much larger.
Scary.
One report showed that a Google search using a ChatGPT-like AI feature used 30 times as much power as a normal Google search. In the next 3 years, data center
And let me
use
pause it
of
right there,
electricity.
right, guys? 30 times more powerful than a normal Google search. Now, yo, keep in account that that's also not even including the resources. That search probably takes 7.6 liters of water. That one search. And that's factual, guys. Do your research. This is crazy work. Yo, let's get to it.
Is expected to double or even triple. And the state of Georgia has the fastest data center growth in the entire country.
The two biggest reasons data centers come to Georgia are that electricity rates for industrials, which is the class that they're in, are 42% below the national average. And the second biggest one are data center tax breaks. They received over $180 million in tax breaks last year.
The week we were in Georgia, a showdown was happening at the state capitol.
All right,
over
so let me
two
pause it
bills
right there. I'm
tied
sorry, guys, that I keep pausing it. It's just, this is really controversial. And this is the first time that I'm watching it with y'all, right? But let's get to it.
to data centers.
Senator Hofstadter had proposed two different bills, and one of them was SB 34, which was the data centers bill, to move the burden of the operational costs of data centers from
Okay, yeah, let me
ratepayers
pause it right there,
to
guys. So basically, they're getting tax cuts to pollute your water, pollute your air, and to basically destroy your earth. They're getting the tax breaks, but you're paying into the tax so they can keep running their centers. That's what I needed to say.
the data center themselves.
And what is SB 94?
That is the Consumer Utility Council, a legal advocate for ratepayers and small businesses.
Bills like these are the result of mounting residential anger and the work of dedicated advocates across the state, like Diana Dietz, who lives 50 miles away from the Capitol in Fayette County.
This is a huge industrial project plopped in a residential area. This was the original plan, 122 acres. And then the Development Authority got involved.
In 2022, officials in Fayette County voted to annex and rezone an additional 412 acres for a data center campus. Fayetteville's City Council voted 5-0 in favor of the
Hey,
development.
yo, let me pause it right there. Sorry, Tentoes family, if y'all see the light flicker, right? I gotta change out the light bulb, and that's so annoying, but I need the lighting for a good video. So if you guys see the light flicker, just know it's my kitchen light, and it's annoying as hell. Let's get to it.
Passionate opposition from some local residents. The site was then purchased by QTS, which is owned by Blackstone, for $153.8 million.
These speculators, investors, are
Would be owned by
secretly
Blackstone.
buying up land right next to homeowners. And it was all done so that when we all went to the 4 public hearings between the county and the city, it was a done deal. This is the one that's currently under construction.
Hey, let me pause it right there. And you know what? This is speculation in theory, but I'm thinking that's why Bill Gates bought up all this land in Arizona, not to make a bunker. I mean, don't get me wrong. The idea of a bunker, that's not too far-fetched, but it's because they're going to start making huge data centers even there. Let's get to it.
This is where Gene and Joe are.
Gene and Joe Marshall live on the edge of Fayetteville in Fayette County on an 8-acre property.
This driveway is almost the line for Fayette County versus Fayetteville, where QTS's property is located. We have absolutely no say in anything that happens over here.
Despite their vocal opposition to the project, living next to construction on all sides
That's
of their
crazy.
home has become their daily reality for the last 2
Go back
years.
for the animals.
They do nightly pours over here, and in the back part at the other building, the lights are shining and there is noise. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So they don't stop. Oh yeah, sure.
We went to visit Nikki Vanderslice, who heads up the Fayette County Economic Development Authority, a non-governmental agency that played a central role in the marketing of the land for data center development.
For residents who live alongside these data centers, life has become very difficult. What do you say to them?
Well, I say to them that there's a couple of things. One, we were very transparent. The Development Authority was very open about attracting a data center, and there wasn't any resistance until it came to their property specifically.
Vanderslice says data centers are good for the community, even if some don't see the benefits yet.
In 2021,
All right, let me
that
pause it right
property
there. And that's what's kind of shitty. So they were basically like, well, it's okay. It's not going to happen to me until it did happen to them. And now they're like, hey, you guys are building your data centers here. So you know what? I guess it could be biased. Now, it's very wrong that they're building the data centers just like that and they're polluting people's housing, their water, making their living situation very, very uncomfortable. But now if there was like I mean, okay, this is sad to say, right? But how she was saying, oh, but there was no resistance when we said that we were going to build a data center. If we're being completely honest, do they even have a say anyways? Even in the beginning, did they ever really even have a say, even if they did resist and said, no, we don't want that here? Come on, guys. Billionaires and millionaires take over everything. They wouldn't have had no say in that. Let's get to it.
paid $36,000 in property taxes total. In 2024, on raw land, it paid $1.13 million in property taxes. That contributed $760,000 to our local Board of Education. I'm apologetic that they're being impacted, but I also see the benefits of what the companies are doing and how they're improving our economy. And so there's the balance that when you have, 200 out of 120,000 people, that you have to balance what's the highest and best use for the whole of the community.
It's just the height of selfishness to imagine that one county's benefit to the huge detriment of 158 other counties in Georgia that now have to pay higher electric bills is okay. It's not okay. It drives inequity. It's very immoral too.
That's Patty Durand, and as you can tell, she does not agree with Nikki Vanderslice. Patty is a longtime consumer advocate and expert on energy policy who's been raising the alarm about rising costs of electricity related to data centers.
Are data centers going to drive up energy costs for residents across the state?
On May 1st, Georgia Power residential ratepayers experienced a 24% rate increase. Just since 2023, Georgia Power has raised rates 6 times.
And related to those rate hikes, remember those 2 bills we mentioned earlier? We were with Patty as she was watching a live feed of the Senate floor.
Today is crossover day, which means any bill that does not get through one side of the House or the Senate to the other side is dead for the year. And right now, Senate Bill 34 is not on that list.
By later that evening, both bills had failed to get a vote. As disappointed and angry as Patty was, she wasn't too surprised.
Georgia legislators are getting soaked with money from Georgia Power.
Is that a conflict of interest?
Absolutely. It is clearly corrupting. This is the highest paid utility CEOs in the country. Why is the poorest region in the country paying the most to our CEOs?
$23 million, $33 million.
It's ridiculous how much money they make.
Our time in Georgia is crucial to understanding what's happening all across the country.
Yeah, guys, let me pause it right there, right? I'm going to end the video right here on this note. Yo, if you guys want to check out the full video, check out More Perfect Union. I'm going to leave their video in the description, guys. This is a serious situation because how that lady said, oh, it's going to be long-term benefits. If you guys think about it, the electricity prices are raising. They're losing equity because of the damage it's doing to the properties, and their living situations are bad. And all of these people are making hella money off of this. They're doing for each other. The rich are doing for the rich, and they don't care about the poor. That's what's something I can't stress enough, guys. We're in this alone, and until we, come together, and honestly, that's a lot to say. That's a lot for me to say. But this is not okay. It starts off with Georgia, then it goes to Tennessee, then it goes to Colorado, and then it happens in California, and then it happens in Arizona. Guys, this is gonna be the new normal. And they're polluting everything on top of all the other pollutions we have, on top of all the other climate changes, and all these things that are not good for the environment, guys. You got to take in account that there's so many things, more than one, that are happening simultaneously that are destroying the earth faster than you know, right? So check out his video, leave a like and a subscribe on this gentleman's video. It's really, really good. Tentoez family, I really appreciate you guys, and we're getting new subscribers, new views, and it's only up from here, so I appreciate you very much. And I'm sorry about the light, guys. I need to get that new light bulb. They said they were gonna come and change it, but they still haven't. Yo, apartments and maintenance is a bunch of ass. But yo, much love, guys, and again, thank you. Make sure to drink your water and eat your breakfast. All right, yo. AI, it's a powerful tool if used in the right way, but we waste it too much. So, what does that say about all our resources, guys? We're gonna run out of water fast. But this is all speculation, theory, and for entertainment purposes only. Yo, shout out my boy Daniel for sending me this. And yo, Ten Toes family, if you guys want me to cover a specific topic or cover a video, leave the link in in the description. Leave the link in the comments, or you know what I mean. We can figure out how to do that. But yo, on to the next one, guys, and hope you have a really good rest of your day. Later.